Wow, here we are again, folks. Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word. I'm using a Truth in the Morning ministry by a man by the name of Ford Philpott. And I'm using it verbatim. He uses the King James Version Bible, and so do I. These are his notes. I love them. And I couldn't do... it takes much time. It took him many days to put together what he's put together here. It took him much years of knowledge of the Bible, the King James Version Bible, to be able to write down what he's written down. It took him much human exhaustion and human ability to be able to talk to people and to study and to be able to relate to other people what the Bible says for himself and for them. And I'm gleaning from his garden. He left the garden. There's 48 pages in this garden. And this garden is just slap dab full of life-giving facts. One of the things he's got in here is the truth about Satan. Satan is an adversary to God and to you and I. He said, "Then cometh the devil." This is right after Jesus was tempted. He had been fasting. And the devil came to him and tempted him with three things man gets tempted with: the pride of life. That's to be proud of who you are, what you are, and your accomplishments. That's a dangerous one. Hunger, or something to eat, food. That's another one. You have to be careful of that. Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. And you have to be careful you don't put eating food ahead of serving God. I'm sure Mr. Philpott, as myself, have been out witnessing before, and before you knew it, you started out at 10 in the morning, a decent hour to not disturb somebody real bad on Saturday morning, and before you knew it, it's 4 o'clock at night, and you went right through dinner and didn't even think about eating. What happened? You got enthused about what you were doing, and God was the food that you needed. You didn't need that food for that other deal. And so here we are. Now the devil cometh and taketh away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved. Just remember this in Luke 8 and 12, that when you go out soul winning, that the devil's right there behind you, and he wants to snatch out of the hand of the person that you just put in there, the gospel in their hand. And the devil wants to snatch it out. It said we live in a day when it's unfashionable to accept the fact that the devil exists. Yeah, people laugh off the devil today. They say, that's a bunch of foolishness. Well, they're living for him. And they don't realize how unfoolish it is that there's a real fact that there's a real devil. And he can cause real problems for real people. And that he exists. Society tends to explain away many sufferings of the world by attributing sin to the multitude of physical disturbances. Decay came by the devil. We were created eternal human beings to live eternally. And we're going to live eternally somewhere. You're either going to live in heaven eternally or you're going to live in hell eternally, but you're going to live somewhere forever. What you see right now is this little bodily part right here that at the most has got 100 years on this earth. And life is but a vapor. It said it's like a blade of grass. It grows up today and it's gone tomorrow. What's 100 years to God when 1,000 years is as a day? And a day is as 1,000 years. And here we are, we're finite human beings. We're here maybe 100 years. We have dogs and cats that live 30 years. We don't think too much of it. But when you equate that dog or cat living their life in the short term, and then there are other animals that live shorter than that. I learned something that I didn't know about honeybees. I always thought honeybees wintered in the same hive that they put their young, but they don't. They work all summer. They put up all these babies and they die. And they're gone. They were here for the summer, they're gone. And next year, when you see bees, that's not the same bees you saw this year. That's that brand new hive of bees done hatched out. Lived on that honey and ate that honey that the bees put in there for them. And now you have a new swarm of bees. They're new bees. They're brand new bees. If you distinct those bees, you'll have no honeybees. So, and that's the way that works. That's like Christians. You have new Christians all the time. Old ones fading off out of the realm, and had new ones are coming on. If you quit having the new ones, you're going to end up with cities like the inner cities where everybody's killing everybody. Everybody's taking dope. Everybody's doing what is survival in their own eyes, and God's not in the picture. And that's what happens. He said, let us take an honest look around. This is Ford Philpott speaking here. And discover that our world is plagued with appalling crimes. It's plagued with famine. It's plagued with various earthquakes in various and diverse places. It has countless other catastrophes happening at all points of the world at all times. And in the midst of these grievous conditions, empathy flourishes. What is empathy? That's no thought of God. Empathy is no thought of God. Flourishes. It's time we became less sophisticated and more specific about this matter of sin. Let's begin by admitting that there is an evil force at work on this world today, in this world today. This man right here, he really knows how to put his words down and how to say them and how to say them realistically. That one sentence I just read right there needs reading again. Let us take an honest look around. All you have to do is turn the TV on. Sit in your own living room and turn the TV on, and you can get an honest look. We can discover how bad our world is really plagued with appalling crimes. And they're glorified on the TV. This is why we have what you call copycat people. They see it on TV and they go out and try it. When you pull the trigger of a gun and that bullet comes out of the end of that barrel, it's going to destroy something. It's not just an unrealistic thing, it's realistic. You watch it enough on TV, you don't think too much about it. You get out here realistically and pull the trigger on one and hear the bang and see the bullet, and there's a lot of difference. The famines we see on TV, we turn the news on. Whole countries with walking, they're toting everything they own on their head, on their shoulders. A tablecloth with all that, what little bit of clothes they own, what little bit of pot and a pan and a cup or a spoon if they got one. And that's all they own, that's all they've got. And they're disposed from their land. Whatever they claimed to be theirs, wherever they were, some spot on the earth. And they're walking to refugee camps where there's thousands of other people in the same condition. No place to use the bathroom, no place to get a clean drink of water, no place to get something to eat, no place to lay your head. Disposed. That's Satan. That's the devil's work. That's how he is flourishing today. And he's flourishing because of the empathy of the Christian. Of the Christian being nonsensical about things and not thinking about it, not praying for those conditions, not praying for those things, not working toward evangelizing those countries that are in that way. Those, for the majority, the biggest part of those are godless countries. You say they have gods? Yes, they do, but they're not the God of heaven. They're not worshiping the God of heaven. And therefore, they're in these conditions. And we're in the conditions we're in because we're not, as a general rule, in the United States of America, worship the God of heaven either. Who and what is the evil one? Jesus gave him a name. He said his name is Satan. And he is an angel who was expelled from heaven in some time prior to the establishment of the world. He had been cast out, and I believe onto this earth, and this earth was without form and void, and great chaos was on it, and it was in turmoil, and the devil was on it. What makes you believe that, Peter? Well, the first thing is God said it, but the second thing is in the garden he showed up. He was already here, and he showed up. He said, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from heaven, Luke 10:18. He was like a streak of lightning, came from heaven and hit the earth. And there he was. John refers to him as the prince of the world. That means that he is the prince of evil in the world. Consider the trends of humanity and observe his influence among the people of every generation. Surely, if we look within ourselves, we'll discover him there. Whoa. You mean the devil's been in me? Yeah, he was. He got expelled from me November 5th, 1972 at 3 o'clock in the morning. He got expelled from this body. He likes to make me think that he's still living here, but he's not. If he molests me now, he has to do it from the outside in, not from the inside out. Back when I lived for him, he lived through me from the inside out. Now if he has any control over me, it's from the outside in. And I try not to give him that window of opportunity. Consider the trends of humanity. Observe the influences among the people in every generation. How we look within ourselves, we'll discover him there, enticing us to choose wrong over right in every area of our own living. He rules the lives of millions today. The most significant thing about Satan is he's a liar and he's a loser. And he's going to be defeated at the end of the whole thing in a war with the very one that created him as an angel. And God shall say to them on the left hand, "Depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels." I got news for you. The soul of man that enters into hell, that's crowded with the devil and his fallen angels, is going to be in a place he ain't going to be too happy about. The devil sure ain't going to be too happy about it, because it's already crowded. It's already happened to enlarge itself because it's so full, and it's so like a ball of worms all biting at each other in fire, squirming, and can't die. Can you imagine being in fire and can't die? And burning and don't burn out, but you can't die, but you can feel the pangs of the fire? Not for just a minute, not for just 2-3 minutes, not just 2 or 3 days, not just 2 or 3 weeks, not just 2 or 3 years, but for eternity. Eternity. You have a choice. You can say, "God, forgive me, I'm a sinner. Come in my heart and save my soul." And if you are saved, you can say, "God, forgive me for apathy, for not getting out and telling people about this Satan and how he is the one that will capture you in the fires of hell forever." Matthew 25:41. Satan's going to be cast one more time. Unfortunately, he intends to take you and me with him into everlasting punishment. This is the world's most devastating truth. Unless we recognize it and seek deliverance, we'll be obliged to go with him when the judgment is passed. What is the prayer that you need to pray today? Dear God, I suspect that the trend to declare Satan a myth is in truth a campaign designed by Satan himself to damn the soul of multitudes. Anoint the tenderness of my soul, that I might distinguish the truth. Amen. Truth for the day. Satan is vibrantly alive and seeks to destroy my life both here and beyond the grave. And anybody else who will pay attention to him or follow him, he will destroy their life. If you give him place in your life as a Christian, and you wake up any given day and you give place to the devil and let him rule, he will make it a miserable day. Just remember that. expel him from your life, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. As long as you live, it is a continual battle. If he can enter in 1 minute, he can destroy a 24-hour day with 1 minute of his freedom in your life. You give him a minute of freedom, he can destroy the rest of your life. Listen to Brother Peter. We live in what's called a permissive world today. Keep your hands off some woman that's not yours. Woman, keep your hand off of some man that's not yours. One second with that hand right there, you can destroy your testimony, your life, and multitudes of others. When you touch somebody else's wife or husband, you can destroy a family. Just think, your family and his family are at will. They're in your hands. You put your hand on somebody else's material, somebody else's person, somebody else's better half. And ruin all kinds of lives. Those that have been born for years, 30-year-old child that belonged to this lady, and find out his mama's gone off in adultery with some wayward man, or vice versa. Listen, the devil's a destroyer. He's out to destroy, to rob, to steal, and to cripple and maim and blind people. And he does it in the church house also. It isn't just out on the street, it's in the church too. Be careful. My friend, if you're a Christian, be careful. Be careful. Think twice. Think 3 times. Think positive. Be careful. Christian love and physical love are 2 different things. You have to be careful that you do in Christian love. Don't allow it to become physical. Well, this is Brother Peter with tidbits from the Word, giving you a warning. I'm studying behind a guy by the name of Ford Philpott. He's probably one of the best warners I've ever studied behind. Warning of the devil, warning of people, wanting people to get in the Word, to follow the Word, learn the Word. The next excerpt I'm going to do is going to be on February 5th, and it's going to be about what sin does. What does sin do? And that's what we're going to talk about on February 5th. We'll see you next time now. Right. Bye-bye.